Most alien invasion stories happen the same way. Happy Earthlings exist. Then, suddenly, aliens appear and instantly descend, shooting and tentacling their way over the planet, while hardy bands of survivors hole up waiting for the protagonist. If it's a more robust story, then the aliens can descend, attack, and put people into similes of dystopian racism, where characters again wait for the protagonist. But sometimes a story better than that comes along, a much scarier story, one without easy to define motives and no single target to defeat in order to win the old ways back. A story scary because it's too real. It's everyone trying to figure out just what the hell happened, while waiting for someone else to be the protagonist. V, a 4-hour miniseries from 1983, is that truly frightening show. Without relying on jump scares and tentacles, it shows a world where an invasion never actually happens when the aliens arrive. Instead, the world changes slowly, one step at a time. Everyone acts and reacts in various ways for their own various reasons. The real plot twist is that it's not a science fiction story. The basic outline of V holds that aliens arrive professing peace, but instead seek possession of the resources of the planet. They offer promises of gifts and to make a wonderful utopia. But these promises never get realized. Assorted groups of human ne'er-do-wells are blamed for why we can't have nice things. And these accused evil wishers are the justifications behind a long series of increasing limits upon humanity, until most people don't even realize they've been divided and conquered. At its heart, V is a show about people, society, and what prices will be paid for the costs to feel safe and happy. The aliens work with the people and groups who hold authority and power to create a desired outcome. Publicly, they weaponize identity, information, and emotions. This performance allows humanity to actually conquer themselves. As the show develops, true functional power and authority quietly shifts until the ones who thought they had it all discover the metaphorical rug pulled out from under them. By the time they realize the things they did to others also affects themselves, it seems too late to do anything. Their shock intensifies into self-interested panic, fueling a willingness to do absolutely anything possible to maintain control over whatever they still have. Like an incompetent captain of a shipwreck, pushing other survivors off their lifeboat and not even caring if there's any flotsam around. The surprise to many about this show is that it literally was not written as a science fiction story. Writer Kenneth Johnson was writing a modern scenario of the 1930 novel, It Can't Happen Here. This amazing book by Sinclair Lewis posited that fascism itself is not just a particular group of immoral enemies distinct from ourselves. All the elements and motivations constantly exist and develop over time. People relaxing awareness of themselves and culture will allow fascism to grow and impact any society. That this book was wryly written years before the events of World War II makes this an even more striking work from the past. Johnson's book-inspired script became science fiction when he finally found a producer to create it with NBC. Among the network demands was to remove any realistic political illusions. And hey, this Star Wars stuff is pretty big, so why don't we just make them aliens and give them lasers? Science fiction has always been a great vehicle for anthropological studies. This change actually had a great deal of potential to work with. 3.5 hours of this 4-hour show carry this story faithfully with craftful writing and filmography. And its targeted allusions of accurate historical fascist methodology are not at all subtle. The other part of the story content was how the science fiction elements were actually designed and integrated. And here came a great point of contention. The network heavily pushed for replacing boring story bits with gratuitous use of simple tropes. They wanted another popular, drama-flavored action film. These rather major creative differences caused him to lose control over the story he felt was important to tell. When NBC wanted a sequel, they were more than willing to make it to their specifications without him. Versions of the V franchise, after the first miniseries, are full of sci-fi action and a mishmash of presented depth that seem to actually miss a lot of the points it started with. Now, the reason this show and its on-screen and off-screen story comes to my mind is likely not a mystery to anyone who both knows me and reads the news today. Looking past cheesy 1980s effects and the science fiction tropes, There's a heartfelt reflection and warning here, and that's the part that led to my fervent fandom as a teenager. Like the speculative fiction of 1984, Fahrenheit 451, Man in the High Castle, and Parable of the Sower, the 1983 V miniseries paints a mirror and provides a text for the open book exam of modern life. It's a show well worth rewatching, both as a pre-cognizant reflection of fears and also as inspiration. Because V is for victory, and it's one when people stop looking for the protagonist and become their own characters.